All right, you should have at this point done the IXL, and you're back to finish or continue on with these notes. So most of this part, or the rest of this part on this page, is just listening. And then when we get to the next part, you're going to go through some examples. So on this part, make sure you are listening to what I am saying. If you need to pause because you zone out, please do so, but you must listen. So we're going to talk about line of best fit. Like I set up above, that is the line that best fits your data. So usually in data collection, there's not going to be a single line that passes through all of the data points. If these were all of my data points, there's not one line that goes through them. Okay, it's not like those are my points. Look, there's one line that goes through them. But most data that's collected is not going to have that happen. So instead, we're going to try to fit the line that best fits our data. Now, line of best fit is used in a lot of real world places. Businesses will use line of best fit. Weather people use line of best fit. Lots of different science-related fields use line of best fit. People who sell anything are probably going to use line of best fit because it helps them make some predictions about their future. So, in order to have our line is hopefully going to pass through some of your points, but it might not. When you draw a line of best fit through here, and I pick one line to best fit this set of data, hopefully my line hits at least a couple of these points, but it's possible that it doesn't, and that's okay. It is also possible that you could draw a line of best fit through a set of data points, and someone else uses the exact same set and they draw a different line through the same set of points. However, they must still be a good line. So both answers would be considered correct as long as your calculations are correct for the points you choose and the line follows these couple of guidelines. Number one, you must draw your line through as many points as possible. Number two, you're going to try to get an equal number of points above the line as you have below it. Number three, you would ignore any outliers. These are any points that are hanging out in the middle of nowhere. If this was my data set, but I also had some point hanging out down here, I would ignore that point. That is an outlier. And possibly one of the biggest things is your line needs to follow the trend or the slope of your data. This one is very, very, very important. If you have data like this, and you draw a line like this, that makes no sense. It is not following your slope. A good line of best fit would be something similar to this. Now, notice how none of my points are on my line. That's okay. Your goal is to try to get some if you can, but sometimes you can't. You want to have about the same number of points above as you have below. I have 1, 2, 3 points below and 1, 2, 3 points above. Now, if there are more data points, maybe I have 4 down here and only 3 up there, and that's fine. But you don't want to have 3 down here and 10 up here. That's not fine. And then make sure it follows your slope. This line is pretty good. This line is not so good. Yeah, I have 2 below and 4 above. That's not terrible. 2 and 4 is not bad, but it's not following the slope of that line. Your data doesn't go like this in your slope. Okay, so this one is not as good of a line of best fit. Now, the one I had before, you may draw something similar, but maybe not exactly the same. But as long as it's at least kind of close, that's what we're looking for. So at this point, you need to stop here again, and you need to have me or whoever you're with for the day, if you're in the morning, you need to have us show you some good and bad examples of line of best fit before you continue.